the wild winds call. Jasper's walking, taking pictures of it all. Boots on the ground, heart in the sky, following the blazes, just a rambling guy. Through the valleys, over the hills, chasing that freedom, feeling the thrill. With every sunrise, he's finding his way, living the dream, one step a day. Trail named Jasper, walking on through, Bruce trail bound with a camera view, hiking the ridges, chasing the light. Like and subscribe, come follow his life.
Hey guys, Jasper here. Welcome to my channel. Hope you're all having a great day. I am. Today is Tuesday. It's 20 degrees right now. We're at about 500 feet above sea level. There's a very, very gentle breeze, if hardly anything. Why is that important? Well, in front of me, I have 3 cookstove burners. MSR Pocket Rocket. The burner from the Jetboil Stash. The BRS number 2, the second version. My glasses, my little weigh scale, pen in my notebook, mini bake lighter, can of butane fuel, the Wind Sea Heat Exchanger cook pot, and a lid. The lid is off, also a Jetboil Stash. You can see I used to use the Jetboil Stash, the burner and the lid. Today I want to decide which of these 3 burners I'm going to take with me on my next up-and-coming through hike, which is going to start in a couple of weeks from now. On the 28th of this month, we're flying to the UK, as you know. So, how am I going to do that? Well, first of all, I don't care how long it takes to bring this particular liquid, which is water, 500 ml at 38 degrees Fahrenheit, the water temperature, to a rolling boil. Maintain that boil just for 10 seconds, shut it down. I want to know how much butane I used. So I have weighed this butane cylinder, and this butane cylinder comes in at 247 grams. That's what it weighs. So first off, we're going to attach the BRS, and again I'm going to call it the BRS number 2. I'll tell you at the end of the video why I call this BRS number 2, not BRS number 1. I'll show you the difference. And we're just going to extend its little support legs like so. We're going to apply or add into our wide sea pot our 500 ml of water at 38 degrees Fahrenheit, thereabouts. We're going to put the lid on that. We're going to turn on the burner. We're going to put the pot on top, turn it wide open, and damn. There we go. Sorry about that. I'm all fingers today. All fingers and thumbs. We're going to turn it wide open. We're going to see how much butane we use to bring this pot to a rolling boil. Maintain that boil for 10 seconds. So why did I mention the temperature? Well, it's important. I could be doing this at -10 degrees Celsius. There would be a huge difference in time bringing this water to a boil. We could be at 14,000 feet like we were on the Colorado Trail going across the U.S. Rockies. This water would have been boiled by now at that altitude. atmospheric pressure, temperature, wind are all important factors. Wow, we're already starting to get some bubbles and get some steam. This is a very high pressure burner, is this BRS number 2. So is the BRS number 1. They're also the lightest out of the 3, but we'll talk about that at the end. Woo! Getting there. One little thing we noticed, okay, wow, we are at a rolling boil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 seconds maintained at a rolling boil. Let us turn that off. Woo! Now, something right there that we did notice, and it's a game changer, but even with just a very, very gentle breeze, on full power, it did want to move the flame. I noticed that when I was sat here. Let's get rid of this water. Let's take off the burner, because the pot was weighed without a burner, or the canister, sorry. Let's weigh that. 238. Nine grams. The BRS used 9 grams of butane. 9 grams. A couple little things that it was doing that I didn't particularly like. Although you wouldn't have to run it at full blast, but to make the experiment consistent, we're going to run them all at full blast. So we're now starting off with 238 grams of fuel in the tank. Let's add our Jetboil Stash low pressure burner. You're gonna notice a significant difference in sound. The BRS sounded like a rocket ship. This is low pressure. It will not. Secondly, we need to cool down the pot, we need to cool down the lid, and we need to go retrieve from the refrigerator another container, 500 ml of water. Stand by. Okay, we're back. 500 ml of water into the pot. We cool down the pot with cold running water inside the house. We put the 500 ml of water in there. Put the lid back on. Again, this time we're using the Jetboil Stash low pressure burner. We'll light it. Put it on, put the pot on the burner. And let's see. Let's take a look. Little beep. Let's see how many grams of butane we use to bring this 500 ml container of water at 38 degrees water temperature when we started to a rolling boil, and maintain that rolling boil for 10 seconds. While we're doing that, I'm just going to dig out of my trusty little box here the original BRS. This is the original BRS right here. Now this little guy comes in at, weight for itself by the way, is 25 grams. The BRS2 weighs 43 grams. It's heavier. What's the difference? Well, I don't know if you can see. If you look closely, there is no wind deflection whatsoever on the original BRS. It makes it extremely inefficient as far as a burner is concerned. However, it is by far the lightest one out of the whole group. The The BRS-2, it has a little brass ring all the way around the burner, which does add a certain small amount of wind protection and therefore efficiency to the burner. That's the difference between that's the difference between the 1 and 2. Okay, now the Jetboil Stash low pressure burner is indeed bringing our water to temperature. We're starting to get some bubbles and steam. Won't be long, but don't forget now, it is perfect conditions, by the way. No wind, around 20 degrees Celsius. We are almost at a boil. Plus, the pot sits a little better on the Jetboil Stash burner than it did on the BRS-2 or the BRS-1 for that matter. We're waiting. Won't be long. Almost there. Almost. We're at a rolling boil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn it off. Discard the water. Oh, I hope I'm not killing my grass doing that. Take the burner off the canister. Let's weigh the canister. See what we get. We get 232 grams. 232 gives us a difference of 6 grams. Ooh. So the BRS number 2 used 1/3 more fuel. Just for a point of interest now, use 1/3 more fuel. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put on the, actually, and I made a mistake. I was calling this one the MSR Pocket Rocket, which is still in the box. I had elected not to use that. This is actually the GSI Pinnacle. This is the GSI Pinnacle, and I apologize. I just noticed that, and I realized, but the Pinnacle I like, so that's okay. So again, let's go and cool down the pot. Let's cool down the lid. Let's go retrieve our next and final bottle of water at 38 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's see what happens. Okay, we're back. Final burner, the GSI Pinnacle, 500 ml of water at 38 degrees Fahrenheit. In the pot it goes, which we did just cool down under running water and dry and so on. We'll put the lid on. Turn the burner on. Turn the burner to full power. How much butane are we going to use? I don't know. I'm going to put the original BRS back in its little house, little bag. This is a little bag from the BRS-2, which is actually called Boundless Voyage Outdoors. It's a usable little burner. So is the BRS. I just wouldn't particularly use the BRS on a thru pipe, just because it is inefficient overall. When you get some wind, it's a nightmare. We are getting some bubbles, some movement, some steam, some action. Oh yeah. Stand by. Almost. Won't be long now. We are rolling boil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mercy. 10 seconds at a rolling boil. Let's get rid of that water. Woo-hoo. Take the burner off. Let's weigh this bad boy. I have to put my glasses on. Oh, come on. 225 grams. For a total of 7 grams. We used 7 grams of butane for the GSI Pinnacle. We used, woo, that was still hot. Get off me, that damn fly is bugging me. We used 6 grams of butane for the Jetboil Stash low pressure burner. We used a whopping 9 grams for the BRS number 2, or the boundless voyage burner. I would use this. I would use the BRS for, you know, going away just for a 2-day, 1-night camp or weekend or whatever. No problem. I would use these, and I do use these for that. Okay. The most efficient, well, it was the Jetboil. This little guy right here. I thought it would be. The Jetboil company is a genius in creating the product that they create. Oh, I realize it's manipulated. I realize you're paying for a brand name and so on, but they are extremely good at what they do. The Jetboil Stash was Jetboil's entry, if you will, into the ultralight backpacking kind of through hiking stove with the Jetboil Stash. It came in, it's very light. And I would still use, the only difference I've got, I have the burner and the lid, but I'm using a different pot. I actually like this pot. I wouldn't say I like it any better than the Jetboil Stash pot. It is a wide C. It has the heat exchanger on the bottom, which to me is mandatory to have an heat exchanger. If I didn't, those numbers would be another 30 to 40% higher than they were today, just because we have an heat exchanger on the bottom. So that's the system that I particularly like. So I think, without any further ado, a decision will be made. We are taking the Jetboil low pressure burner from the Jetboil Stash system with us on our next through hike. To me, it's just proven itself one more time. We've done this experiment before. We've done it with several. We've done it with as many as 5 different burners. The Jetboil Stash did win then also. You can see how the BRS is very lightweight, but it's very inefficient. Just to give you an idea, the BRS2 came in at a 43 gram overall weight for the burner. The MSR Pocket Rocket came in, the GSI Pinnacle came in at 67 grams. And the Jetboil Stash low pressure burner came in at 58 grams. I weighed each one before we started. So this would be the heaviest. And it's almost as efficient as this. But it was 1 gram more, and as far as fuel consumption is concerned, and 11 grams more in overall weight. We're going to take the Jetboil Stash low pressure burner, which I thought we would, but I thought it would be fun too to make a video and share that with you about how I analyze the gear that I'm going to use, the gear that I am using, and continuing in my own mind for my own self-worth, if you will, of self-being, of my knowledge of my own gear, just continues to reinforce the fact that, yes, I believe I am using the most efficient gear that's available to me. Yeah, there's other stuff out there. There's lots of stuff out there. If you went out today and bought a Jetboil stash, I noticed online they were selling at 195 Canadian dollars for the burner, the pot, the lid, the package deal. I did notice one company was selling it for $149.99, which in all truthfulness is a great deal. I can't think of the company, but if somebody's interested in Jetboil stash, look it up. Jetboil stash for sale, or whatever, on your search engine, Safari, whatever your search engine is, it'll tell you which one, where they are and who's got them for sale, and look for the one at $149.99. Okay. We'll catch you next time. Oh, by the way, before I forget, before I go, because I have got so little to do today and so much time to do it in, I don't know where I'm going to begin, but remember, subscribe to our channel. We need you. Have a great day.